Okay, so good morning. This is our meeting, our Zoom meeting for accounting. It is accounting 1, right? This class was scheduled to meet in Tulare from 8:10 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. So because of that, I decided to go ahead and have the optional Zoom meeting during that normal time where you were maybe, hopefully expecting to take this class live. But unfortunately, because of COVID, it's all online. But we're going to do our best to get through this. This is probably one of the more challenging, at least what students tell me. I don't think it is, but apparently it is one of the more challenging courses to take. I don't think accounting in and of itself is that difficult, but it is comprehensive. And when I say comprehensive, I mean there's a lot that comes at you within a relatively short period of time. So you've got to be in a position to be able to absorb a lot of information at a very short period of time. And that's what sometimes makes it feel like it's overwhelming. Let me grab the door real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so a little bit about myself. My name is Andres Hinojosa. Most people refer to me as Andy. I don't really care how you refer to me as long as I know you're referring to me. And then you don't add any profanity because that's not cool, all right? So most people refer to me as Andy, and if that's, I'm comfortable with that, that's good. We're good to go. I'm actually from Tulare, born and raised in Tulare. Went down south to go to Cal State University of Northridge. And while I was there, I did get married. My wife, who actually is also from Tulare, moved down to Los Angeles. But apparently she didn't like Los Angeles. She didn't like it at all. So at some point in time, she said, either we're moving back to Tulare or you need to find an attorney. And so I ran some numbers and I said, okay, it's probably better we move back to Tulare. I finished my undergrad and graduate degree at California State University of Fresno. Go Bulldogs. My undergraduate grad degree is business administration with an emphasis in accounting. My graduate degree is an MBA with an emphasis on information systems. While I was finishing up my school there at Fresno State, I actually was working for the city of Sanger as a part-time accountant initially, turned into a full-time, then a senior accountant, then the deputy director of finance, and then when I left there, I actually was the director of finance. But I decided to move to the private sector and take on a controllership position in Exeter, California. Sun Pacific Farming, harvesting, packing, they do all kinds of stuff there. So did that for a number of years. And at that time, I still was not a CPA, and I really wanted to become a CPA because ultimately I wanted to have my own business. And so what I did is I went ahead and jumped back to public accounting and started working for some public accounting firms, CPA firms. You have to do that in order to gain the experience requirements. And in 2002, I became certified. So I became a CPA. In 2005, I started my own practice. I have a small little practice in Tulare. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us here working on a regular basis. And then like typical Mexican, I have my familia here working as well. So let's see. As far as my teaching experience, when I decided to become a CPA, I took a pretty big cut in pay from working as a controller to working for a CPA firm. So I had to find a way to kind of supplement that income. And one way to do that, I had already earned my master's degree, was to start teaching. So my first gig was in 2000 with Porterville College. And then I started teaching with University of Phoenix and COS as a part-time or adjunct faculty. And since then I've taught for Reedley, Fresno Pacific. The last courses I taught actually were at Fresno Pacific, which was late last year. And then Embry-Riddle online, just a number of different colleges and universities that I've taught for. So for the most part now, I'm just teaching at COS, and with my practice and COS, I'm plenty busy. So That takes care of everything. Personally, I've been married now for, I'm not real good with numbers. About 30, 31 years. It's going to be, actually, it's going to be 32 years this year. To the same person. Who does that? And I'm pissed off because all of my friends, like, they're on their like second and third wives. I'm like, and I only got one? That's not cool, right? But when I see what kind of financial issues they had, I say, okay, it's probably better that I stayed with just one. So she's put up with me for 30, going on 32 years now. So I guess I can say I'm blessed, right? We have a beautiful little girl. Her name is Sabrina. I say little, but she just finished, graduated from Fresno State this last year, and she's in the credential program and also working at Sundale Middle School, or Sundale Elementary. They've got a whole elementary school there. So she wants to teach there at some point in time, and hopefully over time that works out for her. Good, and I hope so soon, because I'm running out of money. All right, so hopefully she'll start taking care of dad soon. All right. Anything else anybody need to know about me as an instructor, person, professional? Any questions at all? No? Okay, very good. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go ahead and get started on looking over the course itself. Okay, so somebody give me a thumbs up that they can now see my screen. All right, very good. I'm going to minimize this so that we have full screen. All right, so most of you should be familiar with how to get, let me at least get somebody. Yeah. Most of you should be familiar with how to get into Canvas. And you do that through, you can go through a number of ways, but the cos.edu way, and then on the top right, there'll be a link. You should have been past this already. If you struggle with it, you can let me know, and we can have a private meeting and go over this. But once you get into Canvas, you should have at least one class, this class. If you've been taking more than one, then you're going to have a number of ones show up here. And this class is financial accounting, and the CRN is 27095. So when you see that on your dashboard, you want to click on that. Oops. That's not what we wanted. That's computer accounting. How about this 27095, financial accounting, the first one on the top. So let's click on that one. Okay, so financial accounting. Here's kind of a picture of the textbook. So if you're confused about what book you need to get and you're looking online, that's a good snapshot of what you're looking for. When you get to your home page on the class, the Accounting 1 27095, you'll see at the bottom that there's a link that says Start Here. So you'll want to click on that first. And then the first couple of items that show up are probably the two most important documents that you need for this course, and that is the syllabus and the course calendar. So let's go ahead and go through the syllabus first. Okay, so at the very top, you'll see my contact information. The best way to get a hold of me, especially during this pandemic, is through the email, the office number. I'm in and out of the office a bit, but I think I'm going to go ahead and share with you my cell number. I'll post it in an announcement, and that way you have another way of contacting me. But the best way to get a hold of me is through email anyway. This is kind of like what I discussed, maybe a little bit more information, a little bit less, depending on the circumstances. And then we get to the required text. The text is Thomas Teets Harrison, Financial Accounting, the 12th edition. So you need to be able to have access to this book. Now, a number of students have asked me, well, you know, I guess there are a number of options. If you go to My Lab, and when you're, well, first of all, you have to understand that you actually have to have an access code. So there's an access code because we use My Accounting Lab. It is embedded in Canvas, and so there's no course ID. So you'll use the links in Canvas to access your My Lab course. So at some point in time, when you're ready to sign up for it, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later, you'll go to My Lab and Mastering, and there will be a link here that you can click on. And when you click on that link, it'll look a little different because mine is the instructor view, but it'll be pretty obvious where you can click on a link. And then you'll get a page that will show you how you need to sign on. If you've had a Pearson account before, then you'll just use that login. And then after that, it'll prompt you to either use the 14-day trial period, which means you can access the actual course without having to pay for it immediately, but you only have 14 days. And then if you choose that option, then you're good to go. You can start working. Or you can go ahead and there'll be an option for you to enter an access code that you may have purchased. And you can purchase that access code either through the bookstore or there are other places that sell it, but my recommendation is that you don't buy it from other places because you don't know for sure if that access code works. If you buy it from the COS bookstore, you're good to go. Or you could just pay for it online, and then you don't even have to worry about trying to figure a way to get the items from the bookstore itself. You just pay for the access code online, and you're good to go. All right. Now there's going to be a couple of options. There's going to be like a $60-some option, and that's just for the access, just so that you can do your assignments. Okay. Just for the access and just so that you can do your assignments. However, you can pay, I think, about a little over $100 or 100 and something. That will give you the access code, and it will give you an ebook, an electronic book. And if you're comfortable with that, if you're good with using electronic books, then that's probably the most cost-effective method to use. Just get the access code and the ebook. There's going to be a third option that allows you to buy like a loose leaf book or even a hard book, and that's going to be $200-some odd. So, and then that will be mailed to you, and you'll get the physical book. You'll get the physical book over a number of days before they mail it to you. The same options, I think, are available at the bookstore as well. You can get just the access code. You can get the access code with an ebook, I think, but it's up to you whether an ebook is okay with you. If you require a physical book, in fact, if you require a physical book, what I would do is actually buy the access code of $60. I'm comfortable with ebooks, so I would actually purchase the ebook, but if I wasn't, then I'd find a way to get the physical book. And there are some other options besides the bookstore, because the bookstore is pretty expensive. But you can go to, I think you can rent this book from Amazon. Has anybody tried to get a hold of a book, like a physical book somewhere? Anybody tried or anything? Nope, nobody? Okay. So I think there are some options where you can actually rent it for like, I don't know, 20 bucks or 12 bucks, whatever. So that even may be even more cost effective. You just pay for the access, which is about $60-some, then find a way to rent the book for like 20 bucks, and you might get away with the whole thing for less than 100 bucks, okay? I think that may be the most cost effective. I myself, again, like I mentioned to you, would prefer to have an ebook. So if you're comfortable with electronics and being able to use computer systems and all that, then that would probably be your best option. So it's really up to you and how much you want to spend. Or you can buy the plush package at the bookstore, which I think is pretty close to 300 bucks, which includes an ebook, includes the access, and also a brand new My Accounting or financial accounting textbook. So that's an option for you as well, okay? So are there any questions about, let's go back to the syllabus. Are there any questions about the required materials? Any questions at all? Okay, just so that you know, again, everything is embedded in Canvas. So you do, if you go buy a book at the bookstore, for example, it's going to give you a set of instructions and the access code that's going to say, go to www.myaccounting.com or something like that. That's not the way you do it. You do everything within Canvas. You use the links in Canvas. Everything go in. Whenever you're doing your homework, you will always go through Canvas to access My Accounting Lab. So, and you don't need a course ID. If you're doing things and you end up with somebody asking you to enter a course key or a course ID, then you know, okay, this isn't right. I shouldn't have done it this way. All right, so everything is embedded within Canvas. Okay, the course goals are listed, the course objectives are listed, the course content, you can read through those. The student learning outcomes are there. Please read through those as well. Evaluation. What's most important here is actually bold and capitalized, okay? Late assignments will not be accepted. What does that mean? What does it mean? I don't know. It probably means that late assignments are not accepted, all right? Now, are there some exceptions? Usually medical emergencies of some sort. If you can get a hold of me as quickly as possible to let me know what's going on. It doesn't just have to be just you. If it's family as well, I get it. I will be very sensitive to anybody who actually tests positive. Unfortunately, I tested positive 2 days before Christmas, so I know how it feels, or it can feel. Some people get no symptoms at all. Unfortunately, I got mine. There were pretty bad symptoms, close to getting to the hospital, but not quite there. So that was good. I was lucky to get through so that I didn't have to sit in the hospital for a while. But I do know that when I got up, for at least 2 weeks every morning, I had no desire to turn on a computer or even look at emails, and so it was not cool. So God forbid, stay healthy and do, make sure that you do everything you can to protect yourselves. But if in fact you do end up testing positive, that will be something that I'll be sensitive to, and we can figure out something for your assignment due dates. Okay. As this suggests, there will be no makeup tests or quizzes, so you can't miss a test or a quiz. Missed quizzes will result in a grade of 0. All right. All right. So before I go on, is there anybody have any questions about the late assignment policy? Now, you can ask for any reason. Let's say, for example, you're real backed up at work and things that you can ask, but I mean, like I said, it's going to be something that is extraordinary. Oh, something else that happened last year, those fires that were occurring up in like Three Rivers, and in that area, there were a few students who were actually taking courses. So that certainly was something that I made an accommodation for as well. Okay. All right. Let's keep going down. Now, because we're a class that is going to be conducted online, there are what we call participation requirements or discussions, okay? And they are graded. So we have specific requirements that, in my opinion, are probably the easiest points that you'll be able to earn. So if you can focus on making sure you get this done, this really can help you, because it's not in proportionately, and we'll take a look at the grading system. It's not a ton of points, but it's a good number of points that could help you go from a D to a C, or a C to a B, or even a B to an A, depending on the circumstances, right? So let's review what the requirements are for discussions. Now, this course is an online course, so it starts on Monday morning at 12 a.m. Every week, I should say, there's online weeks, and they start at Monday morning at 12 a.m., and the online week ends on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So each week, including, I think the first week, I think you have a discussion requirement, but we'll take a look at it. Each week, the instructor will post discussion questions in the discussions forum located in Canvas. During the online week, students will be required to. So there's two requirements. Two requirements. First, you must reply. This is one post. Post one reply message that contains two well-developed paragraphs and clearly addresses the discussions. The instructor will not consider a single sentence paragraph as well developed. So there are a number of questions within every discussion question, so there's just no way that you could really respond comprehensively to these discussion questions with just one sentence. It just won't work. Then, after you have replied to the initial discussion question, you'll be required to post two replies to two different students, okay? So the total number of posts I'm expecting to see at the end of the week is 3. 1 to reply to the DQ, the discussion question, and then 2 more that are replying to 2 different students, okay? Now, just so that you know, I'm looking for what is referred to as substantive. And substantive means that you're showing evidence of critical thinking and meaningful interaction with the posting, as well as the course objectives, and also, or you're asking engaging questions or providing insight into the discussion. So in other words, well, here, I'll just go on and finish reading and then we can talk more about it. Both quantity and quality are important considerations when posting substantive messages. For example, I agree is not considered substantive because it does not add anything of substance to the discussion. A single sentence post will not be considered substantive, okay? So let's go look and see what we have for this week. I don't remember if we have discussions in the first week. Okay, so we're going to go down to Module 1, Week 1, and we do have discussions. So discussions, Part 1. All right, so respond to the following discussion question. List 4 basic financial statements. Discuss what is included in the financial statement and how the statement can be used to an investor or creditor. Okay, and so you're going to reply to this with 2 well-developed paragraphs. And then after you reply, you're going to see other student posts, and then you're going to be required to reply to 2 other students, and they have to be substantive. Now, you could argue that substantive is a bit subjective, but it's very clear. Here are some steps that I want you to follow, and if you follow these steps, you'll be good to go. Number 1, when you reply to a student, acknowledge what they posted. So for example, let's say Marie, since I don't see your picture, I just see your name, we'll go with you. Let's say, for example, Marie replies to the discussion questions, and I really like how she replies to it. So I'm going to reply to her and say, hey, thank you for the information that you provided. I like how you have provided this and this and this, and that was a good post. Now, people sometimes stop right there. A lot of students stop right there. That's not substantive because you haven't added anything to the discussion. You just acknowledge someone else's post, which is important when you're replying. You acknowledge their posts. You discuss what they posted. But then after you've done that, then you add to that. As an example, I say, Marie, you had a great post. I really like how you said this and that. I also want to add to that you might want to consider A, B, C, D. So now you have thrown in some additional information, right? Some additional information that other students will read and be able to see, hey, okay, there's more information that I could have considered, right? And then the last thing you do is you add to that post, what are your thoughts? Okay, so now you've asked a question, ask an engaging question, okay? So if every one of your posts acknowledges the original posts, provides additional information, and then asks a follow-up question, you're good to go. That's no question that's going to be a substantive post, okay? So that should be, if you follow those 3 things, those 3 steps, acknowledge the post, add information, and ask an engaging question, there's no doubt you will get full credit for your posts. Now, in this course, let's see what those grades are. Let's go back to the syllabus real quick. I'm going to scroll down and look at the point spread. Okay, so each discussion is worth 20 points. All right, so what does that mean? So what that means is that, let's go back to the discussions here. It says that students will earn 50% of the weekly discussion points. I'm going to close this up so you can see more. Okay, so students will earn 50% of the weekly discussion points by responding to the initial discussion question. So if all you do is reply to the initial discussion, you're going to get 10 points. Then students will then earn 25% of the weekly discussion points for each substantive reply to other points. So let's say you replied with 2 posts and both of them are substantive. Then you will get 20 points, 5 points apiece for the replies. Then you will get full credit, okay? Now, the replies and the discussion as well, it's either on or off. You can't get a partial, you won't ever get a 2.5 out of 5 or 1 out of 5. You're either going to get, for a post, you're either going to get all 5 points for the responses to the student, or you're going to get 0 because it wasn't substantive. Okay, there's just nothing in between. So let's say you posted 2 posts, one of them was substantive and the other was not substantive. Well, you're going to get the 10, let's assume that you also replied to the initial DQ, you're going to get those 10 points. You're going to get a 5 points for the reply that was substantive, and you will get 0 points for the reply that was not substantive. So if you want to play it safe, you could post a number of posts every week to make sure, until you have a good feel for how it works, and then you'll just post your 2. That's the minimum now. You can actually post more. There's no penalty for posting more. There's no extra credit for posting more either. Okay, so you just you want, if your objective is to make sure that you earn the points for the full credit, that reply to the DQ and reply to 2 students, make sure those replies are substantive, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to put all of you up here so I can see you, and now I'm going to ask you, are there any questions about the discussion requirements, the participation requirements? Everybody good? Okay, very good. All right, you can read through the drop policy. There's no permits now, so that's okay. Let's go down to the grading. Here's the grading scale. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this so we can see the whole thing. You have exams. There's 4 exams. There's 15 homework assignments. There's 12 quizzes. There's 1 final exam, and then there's discussions. And you can see the discussions are 20% of your grade. So if you just decide, I'm not doing any discussions, the best you're going to, it's 20.8, so the best you're going to get is a C. And then you got to get like perfect scores on anything to get a C in this class, right? So so my suggestion is that you pick up these participation points because they're relatively easy. Once you get into once you've got a handle over it, once you're able to really kind of see how it all works, then you should be fine. Okay, so in terms of the grading, I'm going to be looking at percentages. If you have 90 to 100% of the score, you're going to get an A. 80 to 89 is B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and then 59% or below is going to be an F. There will be some rounding too, so if you get like a 79.6 rounds up to 80, so you will get a B out of the class. The other thing I want to mention to you is that all the exams, all the quizzes, and the final exam are all normalized. And what that means is that I look at all the scores after everybody submitted their assignment. I look at the scores and I look at 2 things. I look at the high score, what was the high score of all the students, and I look at the average score. The average score, when it's all said and done, is going to be close to 75, between 75 and 80. So even if when I do the calculations, the average score for the class is, let's say it's 65%, well, everybody's going to get a bump up of 10% so that the average score moves up to 75%. Or let's say the average score was maybe close to like 72 or 73, but the high score was 95. So everybody will get a 5% bump up so that, whatever your score is, you'll get an additional 5%. So I don't curve, because if I curve, that's going to require to have so many Fs and so many Cs and all that. That doesn't work, but I do normalize the grades. Now, some of the quizzes, particularly the first ones, the students do well, and the average is about 80 or 85, and then the high score is 100. So there won't be any normalization in some of these quizzes. The exams, it's often that I have to, but there are some exams where I don't. For whatever reason, the students do very well, so we're good to go. But just so that you know, if you're hoping to get an A out of this course, and normally you get A's, and you have an exam that you didn't do so well, I don't want you to press the panic button. I want you to wait till I actually update grades, and I do that every week. And when I update the grades, I post how much adjustment, if any, I've made to the scores. And so at that point in time, you can see what your final score was for that exam, for that quiz, and for the final exam. Okay? All right, are there any questions about any of the points? All right. Now, we do have a final exam meeting date. It's on Thursday, May 13th, 2021, from 8:10 to 10 a.m. So this class normally meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, I have gone through a heck of a lot of time and effort to create videos for you that are pretty similar to what I would have covered in the classroom, okay? I go through the steps that I would have. In fact, I just don't go through the PowerPoints. I actually put up spreadsheets, which in the classroom, sometimes I use spreadsheets and sometimes I use the overhead and write it out. But to put it on a video format and be able to see it, it works easier, and it's the same thing as writing it out, only you don't have to worry about bad handwriting or anything like that. So I've actually created these videos that are really replacing the live instruction that normally would be a part of this course. In addition to that, though, I'm not going to just quit and just make this this is a purely online class, and for you, it's going to be a purely online class. But my commitment to all of you is to, even though I'm providing you these videos, there's still something that may not be as clear. So during our normal meeting hours, between Tuesday, Thursday from 8 to 10, I will be online in Zoom waiting for you guys to come and bug me, okay? Waiting for you to come and ask me questions. I'm not going to cover anything. I don't have another lecture that I'm going to go through. I'm just going to be here. So you have the videos for the lectures, and then you have me available if you have any questions, okay? And when I do this, you're going to be kind of upset by the end of the semester, because every time I do this, I'm going to post, I'm available online. And so you're going to get annoyed after a while saying, well, just quit bothering me, because I don't want to, you don't want to come see me, whatever. But that's going to be the reminder that I'm available for you. It'll be between 8:10 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday for this particular class. Okay. In addition to that, I have my normal office hours. Have I posted my office hours yet? I don't think I did. Let's see. No, I didn't. So let me go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna go to files. I'm gonna upload. Okay, so we'll go over that right now, but I'm just jumping here to, so you will see that in the start here section of our modules, my schedule. So you could see that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have you guys blocked out, this class blocked out. Now, in addition to that, I have Zoom office hours. This is for everybody in the universe. And so you'll see that between 10 and 11, I will still be online. Between 10 and 11, I still will be online. The difference will be that this time is for you, this time is for you, this time is for everybody. And you can also see that it won't be just on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It will be Mondays and Wednesdays that I will hold Zoom office hours as well, okay? This time is gonna be for my Accounting 2 students. This time is for my Accounting 2 students, and this time is for my Business 295 students. So the Zoom, though, is for everybody. So this is posted in Canvas, so if you wanna know when I'm online, but every time I'm online, I do post a note that says I'm available. In fact, after this course after we're done here and about 10 a.m., you're going to notice that another announcement is made that I'm available online for Zoom office hours. In fact, if you were paying attention yesterday, you'll see that you probably received an announcement that said I was available, and it was between 10 and 11 yesterday, right? My office hours. So that's what's going to be happening all the way throughout this semester, so that you have both, the best of both worlds. You have the video, which we can take a look at right now. You have the videos of all the lectures. They're in a section here, all of them grouped together, but they're also posted in each week. So for example, week 1, your chapter 1 lecture video, part 1, and then we continue with chapter 1 for through week 2. Okay. Okay. Any questions about my calendar and my availability to you? All right. Let me pull up the course calendar. Now you can see that in the course calendar this week, we're going to start immediately on chapter 1. You have part 1 and part 2. We've broken up chapter 1 into 2 parts. We're covering chapter 1 over 2 weeks. And that's because I want to make sure that we don't get in over our heads too fast, and I want to encourage you to work through this. Now, the good news is that even though we're starting this week on part 1, the homework for part 1 is not going to be due until the 25th. So that puts us at 2 weeks away from yesterday. The bad news is chapter 1, part 2 is also going to be due on that day. So we're covering 2 weeks, chapter 1 over 2 weeks, but the actual due date of those assignments are going to be on Monday the 25th. Okay? Now here's what I want to also make very clear to you as far as the scheduling is concerned. You can see that the online weeks are identified here, 111 to 117. That is this week. This is week 1. Started yesterday and ends on Sunday. This drives your discussion requirements. These are the dates that you have to get your discussions, okay? So all of your discussion are due by 1/17, that's Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. Now, technically, I would require your homework to be done on that day as well. Well, let's actually jump to week 2 because there's no real homework that's required in this week. So let's go to week 2. Week 2 starts on the 18th and ends on the 24th. That's a Monday to a Sunday. Technically, anything due for this week would be due on Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. Technically, that's the way it would work, right? However, having done this for so many years, knowing that that just doesn't quite work, especially with technology and people sending me emails at Sunday evening at 9 p.m. and I'm not even looking at my emails at that time. So what I have done is I've decided to say, okay, well, even though this is the online week and it ends on the 24th, I'm giving you to the following Monday at 1:25 at 4 p.m. What that means also is that's one more time in the morning that I'm holding office hours, and you can come and ask me about any questions or issues or concerns about it. So consider this, even though for some students it seems to be confusing. Why do we have some due on Sunday and some due on the following Monday? The discussions are due during the online week, and I give you extra time to work out any issues with your homework until 4 p.m. the following day. So that's going to be Monday. So all of these assignments are due on Mondays, and all of your online discussions are due on the previous Sunday. Now, consider that a gift. Consider that a gift. That was my gift to you, to allow you to submit your homework on Monday. By the way, my birthday is on March 11th, and if needed, I'll post an address and mailing address, and we'll be good to go. Okay? All right. Are there any questions about the course calendar? Let me go ahead and push it down here. Are there any questions about the course calendar and the due dates and times of things? Now, I will give you the heads up. In Canvas, the due dates are listed for every assignment. So for example, we scroll down to Module 1, Week 1. The due dates are listed, but it doesn't say 4 p.m. All right, that does not, sorry, you're not off the hook, because the calendar clearly says 4 p.m. The calendar, and I bet, let's see, this is due the 25th. The discussions are due. Let's go to part 2 where the first assignments are due. So here's your homework. It says the 25th. Well, it just says that, the 25th. It doesn't say anything else. Oh, here we go. Oh, it says it here. If we click on it, it clearly says here the due date is 4 p.m. Okay, and then the course calendar shows 4 p.m. All right. So you can't call me or say, hey, oh, I thought it was due like Monday at 11:59, because no. The calendar shows it, and it's if you drill into these specifically, it'll show 4 p.m. It's just at this level, it's not showing 4 p.m. It's just showing the due date. All right. Okay, so let's go back to, we've gone over the announcements. Well, actually, we haven't. Anytime I post announcements, they will come up here under announcements. I just posted this morning, this Zoom meeting, just to remind everybody. This is your My Lab link. We've actually taken a quick look at it, although it's kind of hard because it doesn't quite look the same. But this is what you're going to be using to sign up for My Lab. The modules are going to be the place where you have all the organization. You have the Start Here section, which includes the syllabus, the calendar, the participation requirements that are also in the syllabus, any resources associated with My Lab, my contact information, Canvas support. If you're confused about Canvas, there's some really nice resources here. The questions thread. This is something that you want to use if you want to give me or ask a general question about the class. I am subscribed, so I will get an email when you post a question here, so that should mean that I should reply pretty quick. Now, this is good for general questions, but if you have a specific question associated with your grade, I won't have a discussion here because everybody else can see it. So what I'll tell you is that send me an email and we can discuss it privately, all right? But if you have a general question, use this, and I will reply to you as quickly as possible. The rule of thumb is I try to get back within 24 hours, and I'm probably about 90% at that. In fact, I actually get back even sooner, within a little bit shorter time than that. But for the most part, 90% of the time I get back within 24 hours. I haven't done the number crunching, I'm just guessing. I want to say something closer to 100% would be within 48 hours. And the reason being is that if you post Saturday night a question, and Sundays I don't usually get on. There are some exceptions, but I don't usually get online. So now, let's say Monday morning I get up and I'm backed up with things at the office, whatever. It may not be till Sunday evening and that's pretty close to 48 hours. All right. But I'm pretty good at checking things and being on top of things. So I try to get back in some cases within a few hours. If somebody sends an email to me, I can reply pretty quick. But But I have made the mistake of somebody sending an email to me. I look at it quickly and I think, okay, I'm gonna have to get back. That's a little bit more than I thought. So, and then I forget to mark it as unread, which then is a death sentence because then I completely forget about it. So if you don't get a reply within 48 hours, send it again, but remind me that you sent an email to me a couple days ago and I haven't replied. So then I can beat myself up, pissed off at myself for not replying to you in time, apologize to you for not getting back at you, and then try to address the problem immediately. Okay. All right. So we'll go back to the modules. And so you'll see the questions thread. I just posted this, was the spring 2021 schedule. That's my calendar. Whenever you want to go to a Zoom meeting that I'm either scheduling with you specifically or just the general Zoom here, this is the same link. It's the same options for all of our meetings. You just click on that. I should fix that. That's not right. My office hours, I don't like that. My office hours. I'm just going to remove this. Okay. So that fixes that. The next section within the modules is the course lectures and videos. They are embedded in Canvas as well, so you don't have to even run off anywhere. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I try to make it so that they're not more than like 15-minute videos, because people get tired of looking at the same video after all. But if you click on it, you'll have the whole video. Hello everyone. We're going to start our financial accounting course with reviewing chapter 1, the financial statements. Okay, so go to those videos to study when you're studying the chapters, and they'll help you get through your homework. Let's scroll up to week 1. The oops, I called it mandatory. I didn't fix that. I should have fixed that. Let me just delete it, remove it. Okay. So week 1 is an introduction thread, and chapter 1 lecture videos, and chapter 1 part 1 discussions, and you are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this too. So you have your lecture videos, your discussions, and homework. So this is what is required for the first week. And then from here on, chapter 1, discussions, homework, quiz, that's going to be for week 2. And really, technically, nothing except the discussions are due in week 1. You do have your discussion requirement for this week. This is chapter 1, but it's not going to be due until next week. So both chapter 1, part 1, and chapter 1, part 2, and the quiz are all due next week. And then from here, it gets pretty academic. It's the same thing. The discussions are due on Sunday, and the homework is due the following day, which is homework and quiz. Chapter 3 discussions, or in week 4, chapter 3 discussions due Sunday, and then the homework and the quiz. And then the first exam is due on February 8th, and that's all on the following Monday. Okay? Any questions about the modules? All right. I think that covers it. I mean, we've got the assignments, discussions. You can click on here to get directly to the discussions, or you can click on the links in the modules. But here's the first discussion that's requirement. It's due by January 17th. And then you have your grades, the people. I don't know how much of this you actually see, but it is what it is. Oh my goodness, we covered it all. So my last question to all of you is, are there any questions at all? Any questions, issues? Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen here, and if I need to go back, I can do that. Okay. So Thank you for being here with me. Thank you. I was afraid I was going to be here all by myself talking and twiddling my thumbs, but you are here with me, so thank you for being here. Are there any other questions at all about any items we covered or even any other items we did not cover? You guys feel like you understand things? Was this helpful? Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll probably stay online for another 20 or 30 minutes and just available for students because technically this was supposed to be our class time. But you know, we can cut the first, the first day of classes usually they cut out early anyway, right? So I should be able to cut out a little bit. But it doesn't matter because at 10:10 starts my office hours. You should be receiving an announcement that's saying, hey, I'm available. And so you can come back if you like. That'd be kind of cool, but if you don't, that's fine. I understand. You got other things to work on in other classes. So if you have no other questions, I wish you the best. If you have any issues or concerns, I'm here for you. I'm a resource. If you have any questions associated with even any other areas at COS or accounting, you may be interested in becoming an accountant, or if you have a dog. What kind of dog is that that you have running behind you?
He's a chocolate lab.
The chocolate lab? Can you bring, what's its name?
Benji.
Benji, can you bring Benji over? I want to take a look at Benji.
Come here, Benji. Up. Come up. Come here. Up. Come here. You want to say hi?
Hi, Benji. Hi, Benji.
Look. Over here. Look. They're playing.
Cool. Well, we've had animals in our house for forever, and our last dog, my daughter's dog, which I hated, but he passed away, and we haven't replaced him. So I think we're about due for one. So especially when I see they're good to have in the home, and so I enjoy them. So we're probably about due. Maybe sometime soon we'll pick one up. Okay, guys, have a wonderful.
Company, so good luck in getting a dog. They're very good company.
Okay, thank you.
A big distraction, but.
Okay, thank you. Okay, have a wonderful semester, and we'll see you guys online or wherever. And again, I'm available to you if you need. Okay, thank you. See you guys.